Mm-mm-mm. Yay, it worked.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going to follow these steps, she said.
Yes, and it worked. I'm so happy. I was sitting here, I was nervous. I was like, I hope it works. I hope it works. I hope she doesn't have issues.
I've been studying okay, she told me to go here, here. But I was seeing you at first, and then once I joined, I don't see you, but you can see me, right?
I can see you. Okay, so you can't see me right now.
Right. Oh, no.
Oh, okay, interesting. But yes, I can see you.
Hey, we going to make it make sense.
That's right. Well, good morning. It's such a pleasure to meet you face to face. I have seen you so many times out in the community at different events, and I'm always like, oh my God, there goes Tequila. Like, she doesn't know me, but I know of her. So it's always just like, oh, there she is. So it's so
Well,
happy
definitely,
to,
the next time you see me, you definitely got to come up to me in person.
yeah.
I'm a people person, so definitely come up.
I can tell you are because every time I see you out in the community, you're never by yourself, and you're always with someone. You're always laughing with someone, talking with someone, and two, you just always look like you're just having a good conversation with whoever you're with. So, but next time I will make sure to say hello.
Yes, please do. Now, the one thing
Yes.
I didn't know how to do, I don't know how to put these phones on do not disturb or call, so I was trying to figure it out. But we gonna make it through.
Okay. Hopefully you don't get any disturbances for the next hour. Okay, so let's just get right into it. I have the questions pulled up. So
Okay.
yeah, we're just gonna go through the questions. I know we don't have a lot of time, so I'm gonna try to go through as many as we can. Most times the
Okay.
conversation just flows and we just can't get it all, but that's okay. If we have to do a part two
Absolutely.
later on, we can do it or whatever. Does that sound good?
Absolutely. That sounds amazing.
Perfect. Okay, so question number one. You spent over 30 years in community service and grassroots organizing. What first pulled you into this work?
What first pulled me into this work, Destiny, was I was a young single mother, 18 when I had my daughter, and uh, I was raised by a single mother, two other siblings, and I remember how we survived because of community resources, whether it was SNAP benefits, food pantries. Um, Back in the day, they used to have the government cheese, et cetera. And so that's how my mother made it from month to month with us. And so when I became a mother at 18, and I got well, I wasn't a mom, but I was like, I never wanted my daughter nor another child to know what it felt like to not know what if there's nothing on the table. And
Mhm.
so probably by the time I was 19 or 20, I was doing outreach, especially around Thanksgiving, Christmas, making sure that children had uh, what I felt like they deserved, right? I felt
Mhm.
like it wasn't their fault that they couldn't have all these amazing things or that their parents were struggling because of various hardships, et cetera. And so I just wanted to be a blessing to someone else. And so I started doing Thanksgiving baskets. I would give out to 10 families, people that I worked at a youth center, Kaleidoscope Youth Center. So I would find families and people that might potentially call, and where the organization within itself might not have had the money, but I would get together with some of my other friends and I'd be like, hey, if you can buy the meat and you do this, we could give this out to people. And that's how we started. And we've been doing it ever since.
Wow, that is so amazing to know. You know, you hear people say it so much, like how you were brought up affects, your life. And you literally just said that, what you saw growing up, you were able to take that and turn it into a career and turn it into helping others, which is amazing.
And I tell people all the time, I am fortunate enough to get paid to do what I'm passionate about. And so food drives me in my personal life as well as in my public life, my in my professional life. And I get paid to do what I love to do, which is make sure that people don't go hungry.
Yeah, and we know working here in Indianapolis, we know a lot of people do go hungry, and thankfully we do have a lot of, community services and resources and food pantries to help, and people like you in positions like you to help as well. And speaking of positions, what does a typical day look like as a program manager for the Division of Community Nutrition and Food Policy? Like, what is a typical day?
A typical day looks like no other day. Like, right, every day is a new day. And while there are routine things that I do from day to day, you just never know. And so, really, the main thing is making myself available. If there is something that comes up, being that advocate and that resource to a family that may be in need or organization that may be in need. I think about oftentimes when we were in coming out of COVID, and I was new in this position for OPHS, and I was like, well, what does this look like? And at that time, we were like, hey, we really just want to be able to get family to organizations so that they can in turn get food to the families that they serve. And so was doing that, and then trying to work with growers, and then trying to make help growers upscale. And then all these grassroots partners was coming to me, and community partners, and saying, hey, we need some help. Well, what does this look like? And of course, one of the things that I always say is we don't have an endless amount of funds by any means.
Mm.
And so taking our limited funds and trying to meet that need. And so every day it looks different, whether we're trying to figure out how to do the Indie Food Fund was a grant that we used to do, or whether we're doing community outreach, or whether we're trying to figure out how to get water systems to the farmers. So it's always something different, but rewarding nonetheless.
Yeah, and someone, I'm not nearly on the level that you are, but someone who, like me, who works in outreach and, like in the community, you're right. Every day is different. That's the beauty of sometimes, I guess, a gift and a curse, working in public
Mhm.
health and working grassroots in the community, in outreach. Every day is really different. It really
Different.
is a different
It's
day.
different.
Every
And so
day
one of
brings
the
a different need.
Yeah. I said one of the biggest things that I've learned over these years is you have to be flexible. And so when they always ask me what's my word for the year or whatever, I always come back to pivot. Being able to pivot, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what the need will be. And if you get stuck in what you want to do or what you feel like you need to be accomplishing from day to day, then you will forget the most important thing, which is the voice of the people.
Yeah, you're so right. I used to, back when I was like, interviewing for jobs and stuff, and they would always ask, like, what is like a strength or something of yours? I would always tell them my ability to be so flexible. And what helped me
Mhm.
in that is working in public health for so long. You have to be. You just have to be in that role. Yeah. Okay, so we talked a little bit about it. I want to go back to it. Since stepping into this role in February of 2022, what I know was early pandemic time, so I'm sure it's completely different than probably what it is now. But since stepping into this role, what initiatives or projects are you most proud of that have improved food access here in Marion County?
If I had to be let me see, several of them. And one of them I wasn't involved in initially, but I got to be involved in it towards the end. And that was the LFPA program, the local procurement program for local growers. That program allowed us to be intentional with, I think, through over the course of 3 years doing that program, there was potentially 20 to 25 local growers, and they were able to sell their produce to us uh, at a higher price so that they could get a higher percentage of the money. And in turn, we were able to give that produce away. And so we were partnering with food pantries, local churches, local schools, grassroots organizations, community-based organizations, and we were able to just give them items away. And we did that for Marion County and the 9 surrounding counties. And so over those years, over 200,000 pounds of produce went out to families. And so for me, I was like, oh my goodness. And so coming out of that program last year, we were then able to, now we have a relationship with some of these local growers. And so we're still having these conversations with them, and we're still trying to be intentional, even for them to say, how can we support you in what you're doing? Because we know the relationships are important, but what the value of the produce that you're growing and getting it back into our communities is instrumental in shifting and shaping their lives and the quality of lives. And so that was definitely something that I've grown to love. I've learned how to grow. I've learned how to be. I have now 2 different areas that I actually grow on, and just being able to talk to those growers and realize how much work and love goes into them putting locally grown produce back into their communities. It's amazing. And so I always am looking for opportunities, one, to listen to them, and then 2, how do we not only take what they're saying, but how do we add value as well as finances behind what they're saying? So that was one initiative I actually absolutely hands down love over and over again. And then the second one, which I have the pleasure of doing on a regular, is our community outreach efforts. And that is simply where we partner with an agency in communities all around Marion County, and we purchase food from them at low cost to no cost from gleaners, or if we get donations from Midwest, and they're able to take that produce into their communities. And so being able to be instrumental in families being able to go walk outside their doors, or walk to their local park, or walk within a block or so of their home and get food without dealing with all of the other barriers is definitely another program that I'm very proud of.
Wow, that is so cool. And just listening to you answer that, it made me think it's so important, like we're serving the community, we're serving families, but it's also important, maybe equally, if not more or less, depending on who you ask, helping the growers as well, and
Mhm.
giving growers that spotlight. And they're doing such good work, and we have to highlight them as well, and nurture and create those relationships with them as well, because we need something from them and they ultimately need something from us. So
Yes,
together
absolutely,
together.
absolutely.
Yes. Now, hearing you answer just these few questions, I feel like I probably know the answer to the next one, but what's a moment in your career that reminded you why this work really matters?
I would say as of recent, when we back in November, October, November, I don't know if you remember when they were having the SNAP shutdown. Uh, Families were paused for their SNAP benefits, and we were able to, within a matter of days, we were able to partner with. We had 14 or 15 events within a 3 week span at getting people to these locations so that they could get food, so that they could have groceries. And so not only did they get that quote unquote staple Thanksgiving meal, right, but we were able to give each person potentially, each family got between 70 and 100 pounds of groceries. And of course, this was by choice, so they could come and say, I want cabbage, or I want collard greens, I need eggs, I need toast. It is always my goal to never dehumanize anyone. And so I always say, hey, this is your choice. What you want, what you should be getting is what you decide. And so for me, seeing all the families coming out, seeing them struggling to take all those bags of groceries to their car. We had wagons out there, and the wagons was breaking and flipping over because they were able to just get so much groceries, and it was things that they liked, and all the hugs that people were coming out giving me. And I tell people I love that I get to be the face of this. Not that I do the work by myself by any
Yeah.
means, but just being that person that's out there that they see the most, because I'm, that's my wheelhouse, right? And so for me, the relationships that were built outside of that, and seeing how quickly we all came together.
Yes,
This phone
that's
is
what.
saying this phone is saying something. I hope it doesn't. I
Oh,
don't really, but we'll
that's
keep going.
that's all I could. When you were saying that, I was like, 15 to 20 events within like a 3 week span. Like, how were you even able to do that in such a short amount of time? Uh-oh. Oh, wait a minute. Mm-mm-mm. See if she comes back. I think she was having some phone issues, so I'm gonna give it a few minutes and just wait for her to come back. Mm-mm-mm. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, hmm. Now it's not letting me add you. I'm gonna end the live and then restart it and then try and add you. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna end it and try to add Tequila back.